That's what the world does. How can I get you to compromise? As actors, I have a buddy that was doing some acting, and they brought him into Scientology, and they were like, oh man, you gotta go to Scientology, you know, this is how you're gonna really, you know, get in. And so they brought him in. Guess how they brought him in? We're gonna do a communication class. Come and do a communication class, and we're gonna help you to better communicate so you can be a better actor. This was how they presented Scientology at first. Again, they ain't gonna come at you as Satan, but I want communication? Yeah, man, that sounds good. I need to be a better communicator.
I remember when I was in an acting class at this very school in Florida Street, you need to practice cursing and over words and things like that. And I would just say that I bought into it there, thinking it was part of the class, I'll go along with it. But then I thought, wait a minute, that's not someone I want to be, that's not something I want to do. But they say you got to do this to be a part of it.
And that's a crossroad experience. Thank you, great example. Here's an interesting one. I just recently saw this. Maybe you guys have seen this. I was blown away. How many are familiar with David Chappelle, the comedian? He was on Bravo, and so just listen.
How old were you when you made your first TV development deal?
19. My mother and my grandmother were freaked out. You know, I was the first person in my family not to go to college that had not been a slave.
He's just joking right now.
So I was really breaking from tradition, and it was like a graduation lunch we were having, and they had my dad come and talk to me, and my dad takes me outside, and he's like, listen, and this is some advice that applies to all you acting students. He says, to be an actor is a lonely life. Everybody wants to make it, and you might not make it. And I said to my dad, well, that depends on what making it is, Dad. He was a smart ass kid. Yeah, it depends on what making it is, Dad. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a teacher. I said, if I could make a teacher salary doing comedy, I think that's better than being a teacher.
Watch this.
And he started laughing. He said, if you keep that attitude, I think you should go.
Not that part, this part.
He said, but name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, get out of here. Thus, Africa.
For those that don't know, I'm not really sure what happened, but something happened where,
Oh, man. Yeah, you got to learn a lot tonight.
What can they learn?
You know, you guys are students now, so you're idealists, but you don't know about what art and corporate interests meet yet. Just prepare to have your heart broken. You see him laughing at the evil laugh? Because he knows, man, and everybody laughs at me, but just get your Africa tickets ready, baby. We have no idea.
that's interesting. Basically, I'm not sure what happened, but his deal from his TV show, he was having really big problems, and he just left and went to Africa. And he just went out of sight, and so everybody's saying he went crazy, he did this, and where did he go? And so basically now he's kind of coming back, and he's just like, and you get his story. But what's interesting is he's saying, you guys have no idea the monster that the industry is. You have no idea the monster that corporate America is. You have no idea the monster that politics are. Amen. We have to wake up.
Oh, on a side note, I think Dave Chappelle also talked about how it's also like in the music industry, there's something wrong with it too. And I think it ties in with what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't get to all of those. I just recently saw that, but that's a great point. Again, I want to get to you that this crossroad experience is a compromise. How can I compromise? I want to watch you one more clip of him as he talks about another experience. But listen.
When Martin Lawrence was in that chair, we talked about Blue Street.
I love it.
He played a role in your life, I believe.
Yes, sir.
About him as a person, as an artist.
Martin Lawrence is the guy that showed everybody you can make it from D.C. to Hollywood. And I had a personal stake in his success. Every time he did something, it made me feel inspired and really good. And he was always real nice to me. He was always big boy, what, and talk about comedy, whatever. And, you know, when we did Blue Street, we were promoting it, you know, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why is Mariah Carey making a $100 million deal and taking clothes off on TRL? If that weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. There ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person. So they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Interesting though, isn't it? It's one thing for me to come up here and say, man, the industry's this and Satan is doing this, but it's a different thing to see some of these things. Romans 6:16 says this, do you not know that when you present yourselves to someone as slaves for obedience, you are slaves of the one whom you what? Either of sin resulting in death or of obedience resulting in righteousness. Who are we serving? Who are the people that we lift up as heroes and as idols and we might put in our music player and our iPods and listen to them over and over again teaching us something? Who are they serving? We have to be so careful about the things that we listen to, the things that we watch, because they're feeding us something. I do want to go here. Can God open doors in the industry? I just don't want to crush somebody who wants to go to the industry. Yes, God can open doors in the industry. I'm not saying that no way there's no Christians absolutely at all in the industry or politics, but be prepared. Be prepared. It's going to be tough. You're going to be blackballed. It's going to be a hard path. It's not going to be easy. Because the easy path is going to mean compromise. Yeah, I want to see you be any aspiring models? No? Shut up, Chris. So, but you want to be a Christian model? You better not speak up about homosexuality. Otherwise, your modeling career is going to be shrunk.
Have you seen that Miss America pageant? I think it was. And that girl, that the one guy, the gay guy, he posed a question to her, what do you think of gay marriage? And she said,
I don't believe it.
Yeah, she felt that God wanted her to speak up about it. She did, and she lost the ground.
How many of us, that's a great example. How many of us are familiar with that story? It was Miss California. Yes. Where's her career now? She was on her way. She was moving and doing her thing, right? All of a sudden she was like, well, no, I'm going to stand. She had to make a stand. And I wonder if she can go back and she would make the same stand. But
she would.
Yeah.
Probably, hopefully she would. But, I see your question. But she made a stand, and now, man, they just crushed her. I mean, just crushed her. Now, all of a sudden, like I said, man, they going to come up and dig stuff up, and, man, you did this, and you did that. It's tough.
She was in an interview, and they asked her, if you could go back and change it, would you change it?
Oh, okay.
She said, no, I wouldn't. I'm standing up for what I believe in, and this is what I believe in. If it takes that my crown has to be taken away, then let it be taken away.
And that's what it is to be a follower of Christ. Everybody heard that? That's what she said in the interview. She said, hey, if it meant taking away my crown, And that's what it's going to take. We have to make a choice in this walk as Christians. Who are we going to follow? Because every step we take, Satan is trying to allow us to compromise. We come to a crossroad, and it's like, man, this is hard. But this seems easy only for a moment. It appears easy, but it's an illusion. It appears like, man, the broad road, man, it looks like they got it going on. But it's an illusion. Sin is fun. How many of us know that sin is fun? Man, sin is fun.
Man, I don't think it's so fun.
Sin is fun. But it's only fun for a season. God is funner and it's everlasting.
Hallelujah.
It's everlasting. But sin, man, I thought I was having a good time until I started to reap the repercussions of some of the things I was doing. It was fun for a moment. So I started getting beat up.
Sin is in the moment. It's all in the moment.
Absolutely. I'm trying to see. I'm going to go ahead and stop here.
Pastor Wallace, I have a question.
Yes.
I met a girl in my class the other day, and she's bisexual, but she's going to church, and her congregation knows about her personal sexual preference. Because did Jesus really speak out against homosexuality, or was that just the Old Testament?
It's in the New Testament.
Yeah, definitely both the Old and New Testament do speak on homosexuality. What I would like to do is at least finish with this particular focus and talk, and then we'll talk about that after. Because I always like to do Q&A, but I definitely want to answer that question. But definitely, God definitely spoke out exactly about homosexuality in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, and it's a sin. And the key is so is having sex in a marriage being heterosexual. It's a sin. It's a sin. What's that?
I'm still thinking about some people don't understand that sins are all equal. There could be a big liar just going to church. Why isn't that liar pointed out? We have a liar going on.
Invoking spirits and messing with witchcraft, and that's a sin. These are things that are sin. And so God doesn't hate the person. God hates what? Sin. That's why Christ died. That's why when we give our life to Christ, God asked us, He said, I'm making you a new creature. I don't want you to continue to walk in sin. I didn't save you for that purpose. But I saved you that you might live a new life unto me. And so now, again, when talking about that, there's more detail to help to minister. And that's the key when dealing with this subject, because it's a sensitive subject. But we always have to remember, what am I doing? How is what I'm doing and saying ministering? And not necessarily making it seem like I'm better or making it seem like, man, you're the worst person in the world. How is that really going to help bring that person to a state of knowledge? Everything, it doesn't matter when somebody's in sin, we always want to pray and say, Lord, how can I reach this person for you? But sometimes we have our own mess in there and ambitions and our own junk. Which is that? Agenda. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. We have our own agenda. And so we want to, how can I present the gospel and Jesus Christ in a way that's going to draw that person to Christ? So we can definitely talk about that a little bit more. Any other questions concerning maybe what we talked about as far as here?
So the church has kind of been asleep by and large. The American church has been asleep for a while, and we kind of let the industry get to the way it was. Do you think it's possible to get back into it and turn things around?
No, not until Christ comes back.